Well, hello, this is Jimalism, Total Nerdy Channel. And we are back into StarMade. And today I will present some suggestions for improving the game. I will also post this video in a thread of improving of the reactors, or the reactor chambers, or like more effects. So I will begin with that, and then I will go through some other things I'd like to see come into the game. So here I have a little basic building platform. We have a reactor in a shape I think looked like a reactor shape, and we have a stabilizers they're called, and they're separated. It doesn't matter if they're separated or not, and I think that should be that way, because in that case you can spread out them so that all don't get destroyed at the same time. As you know, the amount of reactors it decides the maximum amount of power you can produce, and then you have to make stabilizers to meet that production rate. And if you have 5 or less right now, you don't need stabilizers. That is reactor modules. So this ship produces 6,000 powers, if you wanted to know. And without further ado, let's go through the reactor stuff. Oh, I should also say that the effects for weapons will be left into the game according to developer in a thread. So effects for weapon will be left into the game, but the effects will no longer work on ships, so you can't have like a block of effects that make your ship do something extra, like have extra shield. Take less shield damage, I mean, or anything like that, or make it faster. That will be taken care of these ones, the reactor chambers, but the effects will remain, however. That said, it also implies that reactors and their effects will not affect specific weapons. This system is separate. So any changes to the reactor will need to change all weapons on the entire ship. So if you have like offensive stuff in offensive chambers, I mean, then it will affect everything. Anyways, so these chambers are said to be quite unusual, and most ships, or many ships, might not have them. So a regular ship are not supposed to have lots of chambers because they will be expensive. But if I understood right on the developer, the developer video that was released before, if like one of these conduits blocks gets break down like this, then this one would still work. Like, it would still work if it gets destroyed in the fight. But let's see here. I hope that's not the case. Because if so, then it means that the conduits would only need to be built to build the chambers. I may have misunderstood, but that might be the case. I anyways want it to be able to be so that if a conduit gets destroyed during battle, the reactor chamber connected will also stop working. I want it to be disconnected if the conduit gets broken, because this will ensure that the reactor system, which of course should be a very useful system, it ensures that the reactor chamber system will be very fragile. So I'd say in battle, if a reactor conduit gets broken, the chamber will be disconnected and no longer give the effect to the ship. Okay. So, then Let's see here, I have a jumbled list here. Yes. One thing I'd really like is that you can go into the reactors here, and I don't have any reactor trees now, but of course I think the trees are really good. So if I have, you know, this one here, whoops, and I want to expand it further, I need to build a, you know, another little, now it's their own modules, but you get the point. Yeah, I need to build a tree so I can connect this one onto this one, and that would be really cool. It is this way right now, but I think this is really cool. However, with the reactor you can go to this and you can level up and level down, and I think this is weird. The level system is not so useful, I think. So what I want to be instead is that you can see if we have this one, we have a little text that says size 30, and it needs to be the size of 30 to work. So now we remove this one and it says we need one block more, and I place one, it has full blocks. However, the level system, I think that perhaps for this size of the reactor we'll need a size for the chamber to be maybe 15, and then if we want level 2 we might need 25, and if we want level 3, or how many levels there are, I want it to auto-assign levels for reactors, reactor chambers. So I want the chamber effect to be automatically assigned, the levels should be automatically assigned by the blocks, and it will tell you how many blocks you need to level up to level 1, 2 or 3. So that's one thing I really think should be made for the reactors. Now, then there is the look at my little here. Yeah, so the reactor sizes, they're pretty big. I think the reactors, for the amount of power they produce, should be smaller than they are right now, because we all know that reactors are very fragile, which means that we at least need one layer of advanced armor around the reactor in all cases, preferably more. For this ship, 1 or 2 layers advanced armor around the reactor should be placed to keep it stable. And as you imagine, if we place, you know, like 2 blocks in all directions, this would be a huge blob, and I'm not sure this produces enough power for this thing. So anyways, I think the reactors should produce more power per block, so we can have smaller reactors for bigger ships. In order to, or the reason being that we anyways need to arm them pretty heavily to keep them stable. And now here we have the faster than light thing, and we have lots of fun effects here that I think are really good. Some of them are really great. But the one thing I really want is to have the automatic charge option. I want the faster than light thing to be able to automatically charge your jump drive, well maybe slowly or so, but it would be a useful asset. Or even to have the, no, it's probably, you could have argued that it would be automatically charged in all cases, but in that case you might accidentally jump very far away. So I think it would be really smart to use this as a FTL chamber effect, like auto charge. So you can have it auto charge and you could have it level 1, 2, 3, and if it's bigger, as I propose, if you have many blocks, then it would be a higher level and then it would charge faster basically. Also use more energy, of course. So auto charge, that's something I really want. Now, what is yes. So one thing more would be pretty nice. You know, the AI is not perfect right now, but it will hopefully be that in the future. So I would be pretty cool if we could have like some extended AI chamber that would make turrets more accurate, and also make it I don't know, make it maneuver better or something. Have some kind of extended AI chamber that is useful for ships that require extra good handling, or more accurate turrets. Like honestly, in this current state, more accurate turrets is probably the most use for it, but it will hopefully change. So I saw that there was some in the offensive chambers. Let's see here, what color is this? We don't have this on right now. So in the offensive chamber anyways, when I looked last time, there was something to make your warheads more strong, or warheads make more damage. But I don't think we need that kind of chamber. That's just weird. You know, I think instead the warheads should be much more powerful by default, you know, not some chamber. So basically, warhead, I don't think they should bypass shields totally. I think it would be better if they offensive warhead strength. So anyways, I think it would be much better if the warheads were much stronger by default. I also don't think that they should bypass shields. I think they should bypass maybe shields by 50%. This means that if you ram a warhead into a battleship that has shields, it will still punch a small hole. But if it wouldn't have shield, I want it to be a big explosion, actually, you know. I think that one warhead on a small fighter should be able to annihilate the entire fighter. Every single block, just remove it, you know. Self-destruction system, I want it. So basically, warheads. We want warheads that are more powerful, so that we actually can have self-destruction systems that not consist of the half of the entire ship. One block should be able to destroy a fighter, and we don't need a chamber for this, in my opinion. And now I think this is my proposals for the chambers, and now I will move on to my other game improvement suggestions. So when we are flying around in a ship and we get damaged, I would love to have a system that is existent in Freelancer. It's a very nice space game, and I basically would like to have nanobots. The Astrotech computer is cool, but pretty worthless. What would be cooler is to have a wastable resource called nanobots. And the nanobot would repair damaged blocks on the ship. So perhaps say that one nanoblock, a nanorobot, could repair 100 blocks on a ship, and then you could use, you know, you could have them and spend them, and they would be pretty expensive, and there would basically be a computer called like a computer, like nano repair center computer stuff, and then you would activate it, and then you would connect to the nanobot. You would like connect a couple of not conduits but storage, so you could store your nanobots and they would take space or something, and maybe the computer itself could hold like 100 bots or something, I don't know. But anyways, a computer with nanobots that can repair damaged blocks wherever they are on a ship, that would be amazing. And I don't know if this is possible to do in a simple way, but maybe even replace lost blocks. It would be pretty cool. And I saw in the chambers we have a armor regeneration thing, and I think that is a really cool thing actually. Here, base armor enhancement. Okay, now I don't have the. Okay, we can see still here. Armor type powered. Yeah, armor HP generation to 1%. That is just amazing. So that's something I definitely want. Or it's I want it to remain rather. Well, it's a work in progress, so we'll see what they keep. And one thing I asked for a lot before has finally arrived. I just want to say it. It's amazing. Thank you, developer, for adding this. You see, the beams actually have a super cool color. I think that's amazing. Unfortunately, I don't see the missiles right now. I don't know what I did, but anyways, it's not working, the missiles effects for me. So, moving on, one thing that would be really nice is now you have to go to the core to access the ship. It would be nice if we could have some kind of computer that we can connect to the core so we can have remote access to the core, like a control panel. That would be nice. So you can place that in front of your seat on larger ships where you don't want the core at the cockpit. When you want the fancy core room or something, it would be nice to have computers to connect them, and then you could also control them from several places, which is very, you know, we're not in the like 30s anymore, where you need to control the airplane from the cockpit via actual rods, pulleys, and stuff. This is space, and you should be able to control the ship from wherever is convenient. So that would be nice. Remote core access. Now, one more thing. Let's see here, or a bit of more things. One thing that is really nice is right now we have disk systems for the thrusters. And this will be removed, this calibrate thrusters thing, because I saw some in the mobility chamber, which basically improves thruster rotational thing and stuff. However, I think this type of system is pretty cool anyways. And I would like to use this this management to further customize weapons other than other than the effects and the slaves. So this would be really cool. Now, right now, the regular cannon is really accurate. I don't want it to be that accurate, or I want it to have the possibility to be that accurate. But imagine if we in our cannon computer, or our cannon computer, could set this little management thing, and we could either opt for range, either opt for like accuracy, or no, wait, that was my suggestion. Not range. I think the particle cannon should have the same range, despite I think all energy cannons should have just the same range, just because it feels logical that the particles disappear after time. So 4 cannons are like accuracy, reload time, or energy efficiency. This means that if you want if you have full fast fire and you want it to fire even faster, you can make it fire even faster, but at the expense of reload time. No, at accuracy, I'm sorry. So if you want to fire it even faster, you can do so, but it will be less accurate. And if you want it to be pinpoint accurate as it is now, it will be slower in reloading, and it will be less energy efficient. So if you want it to be really energy efficient, you can basically have a super big cannon, but it would have low accuracy and poor accuracy and poor reload rate, but it would basically be super energy efficient, so you could still have a big cannon. So that would be cool. For beams, I think we could have either range, so you could improve the range for it, or improve the damage, or improve the energy efficiency. And for missiles, I think it would be cool to have something called lifetime, so it could be alive more. Otherwise, I think missiles should disappear after maybe 20-30 seconds. Or speed of the missile, so it's actually a faster missile. I think that would be a nice customization. Or maneuverability, so you can have the ability for the missile to turn fast or maneuver fast when it's a lock on target. Then there is one more thing I'd like to add to the missile system itself. You know, right now missiles need to be grouped to be able to do something, so a missile system, which is only a missile like this, is pretty useless. But I like the missile to actually be a bit seeking, like modern raiders, radar missiles, that if you point the missile in the right direction, it will try to search and hit the target. And I'd like that effect to be applied default to missiles. The only time you could fire an unguided missile, I think, would be if you group it up with a cannon computer, so you can make a real fast firing missile. This is the only type of missile I think should be unguided, because this missile is great for making surface explosions on ships and cope with explosive and deal much damage to the surface. And that is great, but this just missile as it is sucks. You know, cannon as it is great. Beam as it is also cool, but missile as it is just sucks. So I think missiles should have this kind of default guided radar thing, so if you point it in the right direction, it will try to go for the target which is in front of it. And of course it would have really poor handling and stuff like that, but basically if you turn your ship in the general direction of you, like inside this big ring here, this ring there, and you just point it in the general direction and just fire a regular missile system, it will like search and hit the target. So default radar missiles, that fills much more space than the straight going forward missile that we have now, with exception of the cannon with a combo. That's really cool actually. That should be unguided. The MC system, the missile cannon system, should be unguided, as I said. So now, what do I have for more fun suggestions? We should have more effects for weapons, I think, and remove some of the effects. Some of the effects is a bit confusing, honestly. Like punch through missile. What the fuck is that? Seriously. That sounds weird. And it is weird. It's a good system, but it's still weird. Like armor piercing missile, I can get it. Should deal more HP damage, but not something like, you know, punch through missile. That punch through is a weird. It's a weird effect. It should only be used for like cannons, but we need effects that can be used for everything, so I think that it's better to keep the cannon with punch through as a default effect and remove the effect from the stuff, you know. So update effects and add more effects. Remove some effects and add other effects. I won't go through some suggested list of effects now because I haven't made too many great ideas. Let's just skip those I haven't. go on. So, what did I write here? This is the problem when I write notes. It's like I write something and start getting some soon. I don't understand what I write sometimes. It's really impressive. You should see my notes, seriously. Maybe I post it on the Discord. Okay, one thing is really great what I need. This optical zoom. Why don't we have optical zoom? It's impossible to aim at a base in really far distance. And this is space. I want optical zoom. And I also want a special chamber, which I forgot to mention earlier, but I would want a extended zoom chamber for the reactor, so you can have like really sophisticated optics that would make you to zoom like a real sniper. That would be awesome. But I think that a regular ship should have like 3 times magnification zoom option. Right now I think the when you fly in a ship and kind of fight like this, I think the HUD we have right now is pretty boring. I honestly would like to have more shit in the HUD. Like more like boxes and more stuff and more things that are look cool and shit. And to make it feel like a real spacecraft a bit more, because like right now it feels like, oh god, it feels like astronomer mood and being in a ship kind of feels the same. So I want a more complex GUI with even better. You know, StarMade is great of letting you customize things. I think that the user interface UI should be customizable, so you can like go into option and you can check lots of boxes if you want to display stuff, just easily in ship core settings or something like that. Just set the size of the galaxy map, set the size of the stuff like that, add you know, a little in-screen camera with a backwards view, so you can have a picture-in-picture system, so you can see backwards as well with a maybe not super good resolution, but still so you can see if something is behind you and stuff like that. That I want. And of course, optical zoom. 3 times optical zooms for all ship cores by default. And also a extended zoom chamber, which would let you customize a super cool optic sniper stuff thing. Then, what do we have more here? Yes, and backside, so I see if I have something more. Warheads, blah blah blah. Extended AI chamber, remove ship. Yeah, that's if to drop equipment. Yes, and if you know something I really want is we have these equipment things. The weird thing with the cool effect though. Anyways, the weird thing with the equipment is that when you die, you're spawned again with your equipment. No, that's wrong. When I kill another astronaut, I want to be able to steal his equipment and kill his teammates with it. If he has a missile launcher, I want to be able to take it from him. I wanted to drop it when he dies, and I want him. I want to access it. You know, I want to be able to pick up his weapons and start firing with them. And something that would be really cool, now the laser looks really boring, make it look better, like cooler and stuff. I want also to see the gun in my hand, like a real FPS, that would be great. That is really needed, seriously. I also want some like zoom so I can like aim. Just a simple, you know, simple weapons with like aims, and I wanted to feel like you pick up a gun in a first-person shooter. That would be amazing. That would truly be amazing. And something I also want is that, you know, now the color of the laser is randomized. What if the name of the gun would be slightly, not just laser, but I don't know, syntax phaser or something. Just a randomized name, and keep those, you know, make 5 random made-up companies and make 5 random levels, and then make the weapons randomized inside of that little sphere. So you basically could have, like, when you buy a gun, you can buy guns from different, you know, if you say in quotation mark, companies or like versions, and then you maybe have a type 1, type 2, type 3, and they are all a bit different. Type 3 is better, the type 1 is less good, and they're also more expensive the better they are, and some parameters, you know, say all Orion guns are green and shoot green stuff, and yes, basically some more randomized parameters, or not randomized, but just some different parameters, so all guns are not really the same. And also make them look cool in FPS and stuff. I want them to be in my left or right hand. That would be cool. And when I'm dead, I want to drop the equipment. You should of course spawn with like a helmet and a flashlight maybe, but I think that equipment should be cheaper, but I want you to drop it, you know. I also think that they should be able to be sold, so you can, you know, buy and sell them to people, maybe even manufacturing guns, like handguns. That would be amazing. And what do I have more? I think that's actually... Oh no, there is a guy called Jman38. I saw his suggestion on some forum, and he said that it would be cool if shotguns were more useful. And I also think that's cool. And the suggestion for that was that if you fire a shotgun, the shotgun, you know, the shotgun pellets, just like my suggestion for the missiles, would be slightly seeking. That they would move towards the enemy when you aim it in the general direction of the enemy. Then the shotgun would like turn to the enemy, just like some of the cool guns in, I think, Mass Effect. When you just fire this space shotgun, these shots would be slightly seeking or curving towards the enemy. That would be great. I mean, that would make the shotgun to feel like an actual... I mean, I love the shotgun in StarMade anyways, but that would make the shotgun feel like a space shotgun and not something revived from like the First World War or something, you know? And yeah, so this little thing I read from is just amazing. You should see it. I should post it on Discord maybe. Maybe I don't. Anyways, maybe I will. It's catastrophic. But sorry for this, like slightly, you know, or you know, this is how I make videos. So if you don't like it, you don't have to watch my videos. But it's a bit unplanned. This one was extra unplanned. I just wrote things down on a paper that I think was good, and I present them to you here. So I hope you like these ideas. I will post this video in this suggestion thread. It's possible that the developers won't bother to look at this because they're very busy. So if you like my ideas, please take and write them down as basically your own suggestions. You can say, you know, or write them down or something, say they're for me or whatever, do as you like, but please give these ideas further to the thread so other people can think and refine them. And yeah, because most people might not want to watch it in a video. I'm just I think it's hard to write things down, and like, so it's easier for me to just make a video about it. That's how I work. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and you know, please support these ideas and please post these ideas again and again in the threads until they get accepted, if you agree with me. Of course, don't spam them, but you know, it's just would be cool if the ideas got actually heard and thought about. So thanks you very much for watching. This is Jimodism Total Nerdery channel here in StarMade, suggesting some cool new features to this game that I really hope will be a great success together with my channel. So, see you around. This is Jimodism Total Nerdery channel, officially signing out. Join the Discord. See you there. Bye bye.